Godzilla raids again. After the overwhelming success of the original film, they rushed it out in 6 months. In Japan, it's known as Gojira no Gakushu, which means basically Godzilla counterattack. And a few years later, it was dubbed in English as Gigantis the Fire Monster. That's stupid. Nothing like it ever before, except for the last film. That's stupid. We begin with 2 pilot guys, one of which is played by Hayashi from Seven Samurai. And the 2 pilots discover Godzilla number 2 already. Wow, this film's going fast. Whoa! Dinosaurs really are just birds, aren't they? The new Godzilla suit's a lot more thinned down because the actor didn't want to die because he has to now fight a new giant monster and get tossed in water with it. And yes, the suit actors had to be in the monster suits so they wouldn't comedically float. So the pilots think that's weird and go back home, and they decide that the new monster is an ankylosaurus apparently, and they name it Anguirus, or Anguirus, or Angela, or like a million other ways to pronounce it. Don't worry, Toho will later reuse all the alternate names. This is our first other giant monster in the Godzilla franchise, and he looks pretty cool. His roar is a distorted saxophone, and for some reason they decided to also give it to Gigantis. Oh hey, it's the scientist from the first movie. And he shows us some stock footage of dinosaurs and stock footage from the last film. And oh no, Godzilla's making his way to Osaka, so they decide to have a blackout. Because apparently Godzilla is attracted to light. Never would have guessed. The military try using flares to guide him away from the city, but a bunch of criminals escape prison and steal a car, and they accidentally crash and blow up. The 2 monsters find their way into Osaka, and we get our iconic fight. It's mostly the 2 slapping each other and running into each other, but we get our iconic stuff that will become mainstays of the franchise, like smashing buildings and other props around the city and crushing pagodas, which are like Japanese castles. But eventually Godzilla torches Anguirus and escapes into the sea. But eventually the pilots find a toy in the snow, decide to cover Godzilla in a bunch of ice they found in the ice rink, which puts Godzilla into a 10-year hibernation. And now as Godzilla raids again. It's okay. The acting's good and the effects are really classic. The only thing really making it special is the fact that it did all the iconic Godzilla stuff first. This is more like the rest of the franchise than the first movie, and for that I guess it has more merit because it did everything first. This is also the last Godzilla film to be made in black and white. But still, it's not one of the better Godzilla films, it's not one of the worst ones. I recommend it to hardcore Godzilla fans, and maybe if you're interested.